Hey guys, what is up? It's your boy, Finny Reaction, back with a very special video. Today we are going to be talking about the Ahsoka Disney Plus series that just premiered its first two episodes. This is going to be a spoiler review. There's going to be some spoilers in here, not a lot, so if you haven't watched it, come back later, watch the two episodes, and come watch my review. We're going to break this up into four parts. First, we're going to talk about the characters. Two, we're going to talk about the story, the overarching story in this show. Part three, we're going to give it out of 10, what we think so far. And part four, we're going to talk about what maybe can happen in the future of the show. Alright, so let's get this started. Alright, let's talk about the first character, right here, Shin. Yeah, let's talk about Shin. Personally, I really enjoyed this character. Even though she didn't have many lines, you could tell like her presence was very dark side, and that she is someone you do not want to mess with. I also really enjoyed how the character looked. I loved that the Sith weren't just wearing cloaks and they had the lightsaber, they had like little pieces of armor on them. And I really liked her relationship with Balin as well. As she trusts Balin, but she doesn't trust the other characters around her, such as like that Night Sister character, which we're not going to talk about that character a lot because I just feel like she wasn't in it a whole lot in episode one, and she was kind of in episode two. But the only thing that Night Sister really had to do was, here's the map. I'll show you where Thrawn is. Let's go get him. And that's why we're not really gonna talk about her character. I didn't really find her that interesting anyway. But for Shin, I I thought she's very badass. Very, I do believe that her and Sabine are gonna have another face off because we've seen it in the trailer. And also, it's kind of like a Padawan v Padawan. Shin, it seems like is more experienced with the Force. She knows how to use it better. While Sabine, not very much. As it says by Hugh Wang in the show that her capacity to use the Force is very low. But overall, I think was probably one of my new favorite characters in the show. And yeah. Alright, let's talk about Balin next. Balin's badass. Uh, the great late Ray Stevenson plays him. I think this was a terrific character. I think in the last few Star Wars shows, we, we really haven't had good villains. You know, we're kind of oversaturated with Moff Gideon. I didn't think Darth Vader was the best in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Boba Fett, Cad Bane was really a letdown. And then Andor, there wasn't really a specific villain. Only villain I'd say in Andor was, the cop who was always like living with his mom and complaining about, oh, my life's so tough. Did I enjoy the character? This is the villain I loved. He is a Jedi turned Sith who is not so kind. You see him, he's murdering people. He was, I can't really see if it reminds me of character. He's very different from any Star Wars character I've seen before because he has empathy for the Jedi because he was once a Jedi. He's not like, let's go out and we gotta kill the Jedi, we're Sith, we're better. No, he's like, he says in the show, like, it'd be shame to see Ahsoka die. And, it kind of feels like he is evil, but, like, he's evil to a certain point. I didn't really view him as a Sith. I kind of view him as, like, kind of like this bounty hunter type character because, sure, he wants to find Thrawn, but he's not a total evil character. So maybe there's going to be a redemption arc for him in the show. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yes, Balin and Shin were probably my favorite characters watching the show. All right, let's jump on to the next Sith, Mark. I think that's how you say his name, Maruk or Maruk. He didn't talk at all during the show, and I couldn't really tell about him. But I feel like this is gonna be a very important character going forward in the show. I already have some theories about who the character might be. There's theories online. There's actually three options I see this character being. Number one, Ezra, which I think would be stupid. It says because it wouldn't make sense. Thrawn and Ezra were disappeared, and then then there's this Mark guy who might be Ezra, and like, oh, why didn't they just ask this guy where Thrawn is? Because that it just didn't make sense. Second, I've seen is Starkiller. Starkiller would be very cool. Very very cool to see Starkiller. I just don't think it would make sense if they did Starkiller, because if you do see what happens in this game is that he's very overpowered. Ahsoka would not stand a chance if he went against Starkiller. Like, I'm pretty sure in the game he brought down a Star Destroyer with the Force, and I think a lot of people thinking it might be Starkiller is because Sam Witwer is listed in the credits. But I do believe that he is. I believe Sam Witwer is in this show, but he's not playing Mark. I believe he's playing Darth Maul. Because I remember a year ago, there were those set photos of Ahsoka that had Darth Maul in it, and no one could know if it was fake or real. I believe Sam Witwer's playing Darth Maul in some, maybe if I don't really know the timeline. I don't know if this takes place after or before Solo, or, well, if we go to the Rebels, he's dead in Rebels, so maybe it's a flashback. I don't know, guys. Star Wars connected tissues are hard to follow because you don't know what's taking there and before. But yeah, Mark, he seemed like a really cool character. Hopefully we get to learn more about him. I really hope it's not some stupid reveal that it's Ezra, because I think that ruins the character of Ezra a bit, and I think it's just a stupid plot point. And so far the show has been good for me. They do that, it's gonna get a lot of negative points for me. All right, let's go on to some of the rebels here, starting with Chopper. Chopper, he's just being Chopper. All I wanted for Chopper was from this has that same bitchy attitude that he has, with everything. And the scenes he was in, he stole them. He was hilarious, and I really enjoyed the character. There's not much we can say about him because he's more like the side character. He's the sidekick character. It's great to see Chopper again. All right, let's jump on the next character we're gonna do. Hera. Hera, who I really liked Hera. Uh, I could really feel that she was a general. Not just because it's the name. She's like General Syndulla. And it's not like, oh, blah blah blah. She doesn't really seem like a general. She seemed like a general. She took charge in every scene she was in. I really enjoyed. I loved her banter with Ahsoka. Trying to convince her to get Sabine. I think in Rebels, Hera was always, the mom. She's always like, oh, you should go take. She's always caring for all the kids. The kids in this sisters and Sabine and Ezra, and I think I got in a way that she wants to get that family back. Kanan. Hadn't seen Rebels. He's not around anymore. We all know. People who've watched Rebels know. People who don't, go watch it. Go watch series. See what's happening. It's very emotional. What happens to him? Uh, I don't know if Zeb is going to show up. Uh, but we got Sabine and Ezra, and those are she wants. I think she wants to bring that family back. I think she might miss them in a way. Uh, I do remember that she does have a son. I don't know if she's going to show up, but overall, Mary Kate Elizabeth Winstead, love her since Scott Pilgrim. Uh, she did a terrific job, and it was great to see Hera brought to life. We haven't seen the ghost yet. We saw a little pod ship that was the ghost, but hopefully we get to see the ghost. All right, let's jump into this next character, Sabine. I've heard a lot of people say she didn't like Sabine. I like Sabine. I liked how they portrayed her here. It's not. She wasn't really thrown off to the side, which I thought she was gonna be more side in the show, but she seemed like she was the main character in these first two episodes. I was more intrigued with what Sabine was doing more than what Ahsoka was doing, because Ahsoka wasn't really doing anything in episode 2. Episode 1, we kind of get introduced to Sabine, see that she's living. I can't remember the name of the planet. Sorry, guys. I'm not a huge Star Wars guys, So I don't know everything going on, but I know that was Ezra's home planet. Ezra's home planet that they freed. End of Rebels. See, I do know some stuff. So Star Wars fans, don't attack me. Don't attack me. I don't know that much. As you can see behind me, more of a Marvel guy. But yeah, let's go back to talking about Sabine. Very much liked her. Yeah, had a, I think the actress did a really good job of portraying Sabine. And I kind of got the idea. She wanted to leave the life of a rebel behind. Uh, she missed Ezra, but she didn't. She didn't really want to go out there. She thought he was gone, and Ahsoka brings back this hope to her. And I think during the series, we're going to see her grow a lot. We do know her and Ahsoka have a type of well, they don't. They don't have that. They are Padawan and Master, and we don't know why Sabine and Ahsoka kind of split ways. So I want to kind of see her grow. I want her to kind of accept that she is ready. That she is ready to be the Padawan, and I want Ahsoka to not be so jaded against her, like not be so mean towards her, like, oh, you abandoned your training, blah blah blah, you weren't ready. I think she is ready, and I think this is definitely gonna be Sabine's story. I do not think this is Ezra's story. I do not think this is Thrawn's story. I think this is a story about a master and a Padawan, and I can't wait to see more Sabine. Let's talk about the main character here, Ahsoka. I think she was okay. You know, I grew up watching the Clone Wars. That was my show when I was a kid. I watched a little bit of Rebels. Didn't really get into it. I was in high school like eighth grade when that came out. So I'm rewatching it right now, or we could try to do a rewatching the series. After Ahsoka, or maybe during Ahsoka. I don't know. But yeah, I felt she was very snarky. Very mean. She's like, oh, I don't want to go see Sabine. I don't want to. She's not ready. Blah blah blah. She wants to do it all by herself. And that kind of was like, why do it by yourself? There are certain things where like decisions she made that I did not agree with. But yeah, overall, I hope to see that Ahsoka starts to let people in. That's what I want to see. I want to see her to let Sabine in, let Hera in. That she doesn't have to go do everything by herself. And I think that's the point. That's the journey she's going. This isn't a journey of her using her laser sword to fight the bad guys. It's about her growing, her to trust people. Because after I think Clone Wars, she's been alone most of the time. You know, there's she escaped the ship with Rex, and she kind of was thrown into this world where she cannot trust anyone. And I want to see Ahsoka starting to open up, trust people, talk about her past. Talk about all that trauma she's been through. Having to kill her clone troopers who respected her. And of course, I hope my favorite Star Wars character, yes, my favorite, Captain Rex, makes an appearance in this show. All right, and those are the characters. Let's talk about the story of going on. So basically, the story is there's a map to Thrawn, which Ahsoka gets, and Balin and Shin are coming after Ahsoka because they want the map and they want to find Thrawn. While Ahsoka wants to find Thrawn, but she also thinks it might lead to Ezra. So she enlists the help of Hera, who points her in the direction of Sabine Wren, which we learn she's living on Ezra's home planet in his old place, and that Hera mentions you should go get Sabine to help her. Help her because she knows how to crack the map somehow because she's a Mandalorian and she's super smart. And through the episode, we see that Sabine feels Ahsoka gave up on her. And we see that Balin and Shin are after this map as well, as we see at the end of the episode, we see Shin versus Sabine. And I have to say, like, watching that fight, I'm like, there's no way Sabine's going to win this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, she's going to be fine. When Shin impales Sabine, I was like, they killing off Sabine in this episode? I'm like, no way, Kathleen Kennedy. No way Star Wars gonna do that. And then it like cuts. I'm like, oh no, she actually dead? No, not dead. Just, she survives. She survives a giant laser sword hole into her chest. Liam Neeson couldn't survive it. So I guess she does. And that's kind of the story. Looking for Thrawn and Ezra to lead a new empire, which this show I think is definitely going to connect to that Dave Filoni movie. And yeah, that's the story so far. Now, let me, now we're on to part 3. Let's give our thoughts on what we think so far. I think the first 2 episodes were great. There were some things that I thought were really dumb. Like, why is there just a random map in this random desert? Like, how did it get there? Did Thrawn put it there? Or, like, how did it get there? Like, didn't really make a lot of sense. Also, why just go to Sabine to unlock this map? There was probably someone in the New Republic who could be like, oh yeah, we have these expert map crackers. We bring it to them, but no, bring it to Sabine, and that's how we kind of get Sabine in the story. But overall, I think I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 because I really liked Sabine a lot. I really liked all the Sith that we got in the show. Wasn't the biggest. I think Ahsoka wasn't the biggest fan of. I think Rosario Dawson did a good job. I just didn't really connect with the character. I didn't like how upset she was the entire show. So yeah, give it 8 out of 10. All right, on to our final part 4. What can we expect in the future of this show? I expect that we're gonna get to visit a lot more planets. I'm hoping maybe Dathomir plays a part in this, since we have that Night Sister. Maybe some Cal Kestis connections. Overall, I want to see some of the relationships grow between characters. I want Ahsoka and Sabine to come closer. I want Sabine to realize that she can and she is worthy enough to be Ahsoka's apprentice. So right now, I feel she still does not feel that Ahsoka accepts her, and I think they need to open up to each other more. Definitely excited to see the Rebels again. Most exciting thing for me to see again are Shin and Balin. They were my favorite part, as I said, my favorite part of this show. And I hope we get to see, like, maybe some flashbacks. How did he meet Shin? What is Shin's backstory? What is Balin's backstory? Was Balin there when the Jedi Temple was raided by Anakin Skywalker? Who is Morok? Marok. How does he play in the story? Who is Marok? Was he a brand new character, or was he a character we've seen before? And I want to see more scenes with all the rebels in it. I want to see Hera, Sabine, and Ahsoka all in a scene together. And I would love to see when Ezra shows up, all of them together. But yeah, thanks for watching this review for my Ahsoka episode 1 through 2. Sorry, we're not on 3 yet. 1 through 2 review. We're going to try doing this every week. I'm trying to come up with a name for what we're going to call this show. If it gets enough, views, enough likes, get some more subscribers, do some. We're going to just maybe do some other shows, maybe do One Piece. I don't know if we're going to do One Piece. I'm going to try to figure out do reactions to that show. I'm going to try to figure out a way to do that. Do something new, bring you those episodes, like maybe we do two a week. We're not going to be reacting to Ahsoka, not just yet. I just want to try reviews for this right now, and One Piece will be the first show we're going to react to. We're going to figure it out. Alright, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.